How you doing? This is Coach DeCarlo. Today we're going to talk about keep your reality to yourself. And this is a twofold message. This is for the speaker as well as the listener. And what I mean by that, a lot of times we have this revelation, we have this epiphany, and we want to share it with somebody. But in sharing it with someone, they're not always able to receive what it is that we're sharing. And so Jesus says, listen, when you're on the way to your manifestation, tell no man. Why did he say that? He said that because he knew that a lot of times if we weren't careful and we shared our manifestation with the wrong person, in this case, Jesus had performed a miracle of healing, and he would send those who were healed on their way, and he'd say, listen, on your way, just go and confirm your manifestation with the priest. That's that higher intelligence, that spiritual awareness within yourself. He says, but on your way, tell no one about your manifestation, or tell no man. So what he knew, though, was that if we talked to the wrong person, or we basically shared our gift with the wrong person, they would actually say, well, no, that wasn't a real manifestation, and what you thought was healing was, just a illusion of the mind, a placebo effect, and you're really not healed. So often what would happen was that person, if they weren't strong in their faith, they would be talked out of their manifestation or their healing. A lot of times we receive a manifestation, or we're on our way to a manifestation, and we want to share it with the world, and I understand that. But sometimes you have to, when you're on your way to your manifestation, tell no man. You have to know who it is that you're sharing with. Somebody recently told me just that. We were having a conversation, and she said, you know what? You have to be mindful of who it is that you're talking to. And when she said it, it was such an epiphany. I knew this, but it just rang true at that time, because what you discover is not everybody can receive what it is that you're processing at the moment. And a lot of times, even myself being a coach, sometimes I want to solve problems, and sometimes I need to back away or stop solving problems and just listen to who it is that's speaking and see what their real message is, because a lot of times what they're not looking for is an answer or a solution to a problem, but they're just processing within themselves, and they're somewhat talking out loud. So we have to be mindful of who it is that's sharing with us, but also who we share with. And sometimes we're called just to listen and not solve problems. And like I said, I'm guilty because of my profession. I'm in the problem-solving business. Even when I was in corporate America, one of the things that I did continuously was solve problems. I was over a particular network. It was a large network, but I was the main problem solver. So when something happened with that network, I was the person that they came to solve their problem. Well, I do the same thing in the spiritual arena. I help people discover their truth and begin to live their truth, and to live their truth with power. So a lot of times when people come to me, I'm assuming that they're coming for an answer, but that may not always be the case. So we have to be mindful of who it is that's speaking, but also who we're speaking to. Now, when I say keep your reality to yourself, this is for those people that say, I'm just keeping it real with you, when we share our vision, our dream with them, and all of a sudden they want to give us a dose of reality. Understand this, creators. Their reality isn't our reality. So what may be true for them may not be true for us. We can both coincide in the same universe and have totally two different realities. One person can be prosperous and the other one can be poor. One can be healthy and the other one can be ill. One could have a loving relationship and the other one can't find love anywhere. So it's possible to coexist in a universe, in a reality, with someone else, and they see a totally different reality than ours. So if we're seeing one of abundance and they try to talk us out of that abundance, you have to say, listen, you got to keep your reality to yourself, because that's not my reality. And as you begin living out your reality, you may in part help them see a new reality for themselves. I was speaking with someone recently, a friend of mine, and he was talking about some clients that he was coaching, and just how he was bringing about this particular breakthrough for his clients. And, I was congratulating, but he helped me see some things as far as in the breakthrough process that I could also share with my clients. So a lot of times as we're interacting with others, make sure that you're on the same page. Make sure that you're on the same accord, because if you're not, and you're sharing these truths with people, for example, that may be in a highly religious background, based around religion, and you're trying to share these new spiritual principles with them, you may offend them because they can't receive your truth at the moment. But you share with them till you find out that they can't. When you find out that they can't, you cease, because only thing that you're doing at that point is pouring out your pearls, as it were, before swine. And I'm not calling the people swine, but it's a metaphor. You're pouring your pearls out before people that can't receive what it is that you have to say. So make sure that who it is that you're speaking with is in accord with what it is, your message, your truth, your reality. And when you find people that line up with your reality and you find that you can share with them, then you share with them. But if you realize in sharing with that individual some of your truths that they cannot receive, then you just kind of back off a little bit. It's okay. A lot of times we get so excited about these truths that we think that we have to evangelize the world. But the truth of the matter is, until a person is ready to see, hear, and be, they're not going to be able to receive what it is that you're sharing with them. No more than we could before we were at a place to hear, have the ears to hear and the eyes to see. So once we receive that revelation of hearing and sight, we begin to walk in our fullness. And like I said, many times we want to share the truths with everybody that we come across. Often Jesus said, "Well, tell no man on the way." And then, of course, the people will go out and share it with everybody. Some would come and others would not. But the thing is, you just have to be mindful of who it is that you're sharing these truths with, because these truths are life transforming. They're powerful. It's like somebody was saying that, when he's driving in his truck, the people that are in the truck with him are hearing, Mr. Lindo and I speak our truth, as it were. The truth has been given to us, and those who are in the truck can't receive it. But of course not. Their ears have not been open to receive the knowledge that's being imparted to them. Not everyone wants to take responsibility for their thoughts. Not everybody wants to know that they're creating their reality. And sometimes, we're talking to someone that may know these truths, and they already know the truths that we're sharing with them. Sometimes at that time, though, they're not looking for another dose of, law of attraction theory. Sometimes they just want to be heard. So they don't want you to come out and say, well, you manifested this and, you're the cause. They already know that, especially if they've been in these truths for any period of time. So they know that, and sometimes they just need to get quiet and have somebody, to bounce off of what it is that they're processing at the moment. So we have to be discerning of who it is that we're sharing with, but we also have to be discerning of who's sharing with us and what's being shared, because sometimes we want to, like I said, myself included, we want to solve a problem, and at that moment, that person may not be looking for you to solve their problem, but to just listen to them. So it's going to require that you're discerning enough to know when to speak or when to stop speaking, because sometimes, it's been said, there is a time to speak, there's a time to be silent, there's a time to live, there's a time to kill, there's a time to die. So there's a time for everything under the sun. Every time that you're interacting with somebody isn't the time for you to be their teacher, their guru. Sometimes it's just being there to listen for that person. And even though you may know what you would share with them may be helpful, it may not be helpful at that time if they can't receive what it is that you're sharing. So what I'm saying to you, creators, is, mind your spiritual business, but when people try to give you a dose of their reality, you say, listen, keep your reality to yourself, because your reality isn't my reality. And remember this, creators, that only you can create your perfect world, not God or man. Only you can create your perfect world. This is Coach DeCarlo saying have a great and abundant day.